And welcome back to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. We've got so much to get into on the show this morning. Before we do that though, please do me a small favour. If you are watching the video for the first time today, please make sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner, and give the video a like as well. It doesn't cost you any money and it really, really helps me out. On the show this morning, we're going to be talking about Carlos Baleba. We're going to be talking about Donnarumma. We'll also be talking a little bit about yesterday's game against Fiorentina and what we kind of learnt from that game. But before we do all of that, I want to get you, the Manchester United's thoughts on Carlos Baleba. Is he someone that Manchester United should be bringing in? Is he the missing piece of the puzzle? Is he the player who is going to unlock Ruben Amorim's team? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Let's go straight in. It's going to be a relatively short show today, so I'm going to be quite short and concise with my reporting and bringing you the news. So the news this morning is coming out from Fabrizio. So it's Tier 1 source. Tier 1 source this morning talking about Carlos Baleba. And he is reporting today that Manchester United are officially in talks with Carlos Baleba's agent about contracts and salary. He says Manchester United want to advance the deal. He also says, from what I feel, Manchester United want to try and say, okay, we believe Baleba is the perfect player. We are very happy with our market. Now they say, if we can get the perfect midfielder, good. He also goes on to say that, where's it gone? Those are the two stories, sorry. So he's effectively saying that as it stands, at the point of recording this video, on Sunday the 10th of August, Manchester United are in direct contract talks with Carlos Baleba's agent. They're trying to agree terms. I mean, it's mad, isn't it? And realistically, it's not going to be hard to agree terms, is it? I think Carlos Baleba is only on, is it 12 grand a week? It was really, really small amount of money for a footballer. Let me just double check that. I think it was 12,000 a week. Yeah, 12,500 a week Carlos Baleba earns at the moment. I mean, when you think that we pay Maguire 200 grand a week, they'd probably be offering Carlos Baleba, I imagine, anywhere from 50 to 100k a week would be my guess. So worst case scenario, at the very, very least, Manchester United would be offering him 4 times what he currently earns at the moment. So worst case scenario, you know, awful, oh no, he's only going to get 50k a week. That's like the very, very worst case scenario for him. I mean, that's amazing, isn't it? Absolutely amazing. So, yeah, I mean, I'm absolutely buzzing about this. If we can get this one over the line, I will be very, very happy. I think he is potentially the missing piece of the puzzle, you know, and I think that the impact that this player will have would be absolutely astonishing. I honestly believe that. I think he would completely unlock that midfield and he'd completely take us to a whole new level. So, for me, if this deal is possible, which I'm not sure if it is, obviously we need to wait and see. But if this deal is possible, I think Manchester United have to do it. There's no kind of hesitation in my heart. I'm like, yes, this is the guy. Go and get him. Bring him in. He's everything we need and more. Please get this deal done. That's my thoughts on Carlos Baleba. And there isn't really any other way of looking at it. Now, there are other alternatives. Obviously, we could go for Edison from Atalanta. But being honest, that has gone quite quiet. There's not really been much links with Edison. It's almost gone silent, Edison to Manchester United. So maybe that deal is not going to happen, which is fine. I think Edison from Atalanta is an interesting option, but I do think that bringing in a Premier League proven player in Carlos Baleba would be the best option for Manchester United, and it's one that I'm 100% behind. So hopefully, fingers and toes crossed, hopefully Carlos Baleba becomes a Manchester United player. And hopefully, fingers and toes crossed, it happens this window. Because my biggest fear with this transfer is, right, that we don't get him signed this summer. And then next year, we try and go back in for him again. And I think next year, you'll have a whole host of top teams trying to sign him. You'll have the likes of, probably Chelsea will want him. I could see an Arsenal coming in for him. There were even some reports this morning suggesting that that Man City might come in for him. That apparently Rodri's picked up another injury. And Man City are effectively also sniffing around. So it's not going to be an easy deal to do, but I genuinely believe that if we are to do it, we need to do it this summer. Because if we try and do it next summer, I think it's going to be very, very difficult. And I think we will probably miss out if we wait another year. So if we can go in really aggressively, give Brighton the money they want, but within reason. Obviously, you don't want to go crazy. You don't want to completely shoot yourselves in the foot. But yeah, I think he would be an unbelievable signing for Manchester United. And he's definitely somebody that I'm fully kind of behind, if that makes sense. And it's definitely a signing that I would fully back and a signing that I would be excited about effectively. And that's the most important thing, isn't it? It's bringing in players that get us excited and players that effectively are going to help Ruben Amorim deliver what he wants to do. We have a super chat coming from Ray. Thank you, Ray. Ray says, a player like Baleba shouldn't be ultra expensive, but there is always going to be the United tax on this. I agree with you, mate. I agree. And thank you for your super chat. I do appreciate that. The issue that we have is Brighton don't like selling players for cheap. They never have. Think about the money they got for Moises Caicedo. Think about the money that they got for, other top players that have come through that club. Even people like Cucurella, people like guy who went to Liverpool, what's his name? I can't remember, the Argentinian guy. If you look at Brighton's transfer record, outgoings, like they have done some absolutely incredible deals over the last kind of 2 or 3 years. So, for example, Moises Caicedo, 116 million euros. Marc Cucurella, 65 million euros. Joao Pedro, 65 million euros. Ben White, just under 60 million euros. I mean, that alone deserves a round of applause. To get 60 million for Ben White and 65 for Marc Cucurella, I mean, they're good players, but that's a lot of money. And to be able to get 116 million for Moises Caicedo, again, he's a good player, but I think that's ridiculous. So, yeah, it's not going to be an easy deal to do. Obviously, Brighton are not easy to negotiate with. But I think, if we're getting the player that we think we're getting, which is a world-class up-and-coming midfielder, someone who is going to be world-class in the future, I think it's worth it. I think, obviously, not 115 million euros. That's ridiculous. I think if you could get him for, anywhere from 60 to 80 million pounds, I think in the long term, you'd be okay. In the immediate future, obviously, there's going to be a lot of pressure on him. There's going to be a lot of scrutiny. There's going to be a lot of question marks. Was it a good deal? Money, all the rest of it. But, I think in the long term, it will work out to be a good deal. So, yeah, I'm feeling positive about this one. I think if we're able to get this one over the line, it would be absolutely phenomenal business for Manchester United. And I'm just hoping and I'm praying that, that Manchester United managed to do this. Whether they will or not, obviously remains to be seen. It's still, 3 weeks until the end of the window. There's not that long left. Obviously, Sesko got announced yesterday at Old Trafford, which was great to see. So we'll just have to be patient and see what we can do. But I think at the moment, it's literally just a waiting game. Obviously, the fact that we're in talks with his agent is very, very positive. And the fact that we are effectively negotiating a contract with his agent, I think is absolutely amazing. So I'm really, really happy about that. But obviously, we do have to be patient. We have to wait. And we have to hope and pray that Manchester United manage to get this player in. Because if we don't bring him in, we need to bring in another midfielder, I think. We can't miss out on another midfielder. We need a midfielder this summer. Whether it's Carlos Baleba, whether it's Edison, whether it's somebody else, we need to bring in a midfielder. It's as simple as that. We need strength in that midfield. Obviously, Eriksen's gone. Toby Collier is probably going to go. We need to bring in somebody. We need more strength in that area because we massively struggled in the midfield last season. Our midfield got ran through so many times. And we desperately need to strengthen. So hopefully Carlos Baleba comes in. Just a recap for anybody who's joining. Fabrizio Romano confirming that Manchester United are in talks with Carlos Baleba's agent over contract terms, which usually means that they are serious and that they are going to put in a bid. You don't usually start negotiating a contract if if you're not serious about doing a deal. It's pointless. You only really start talking about contracts with the player if you've got a bid in mind, okay? But what could happen is, just to give you a bit of clarity, maybe we maybe we agree personal terms with Carlos Baleba. We go to Brighton and we offer £60 million, say, and they say no, and then we don't get him. So just because we're in contract talks doesn't mean the deal will happen. all it tells me is that we're serious, and all it tells me is that Manchester United are actively pursuing this deal. So hopefully we can get this one over the line. Hopefully Manchester United manage to pull this one together, because it would be an absolutely unbelievable signing, and I think it would be completely transformative for this side. So fingers crossed we get this one done. We'll wait and see what happens. Obviously we don't know right now. Baleba. Is it Baleba? Baleba. There you go. Thank you for your Baleba. Is that how we like it? Baleba. 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 Yeah? No? Maybe? All right. We'll just go with Baleba for now. How does that sound? Anyway, let's move on from there. Let's talk about Donnarumma, shall we? So we have started the show with some positivity around Baleba, we're going to go with. But yeah, let's now talk about Donnarumma. So social media has gone into an absolute meltdown because Donnarumma has liked one of Manchester United's posts on Instagram. I mean, what does that really mean? Apparently it's now been deleted, or it's been removed, sorry. He's unliked it. I just think this is just such a classic transfer market type situation, where a player wants to move, can't agree a new contract, and starts flirting with clubs. He's effectively putting his name out there. Obviously, we all know that Donnarumma is available. We know that he has 1 year left on his contract, and we know that we know that somebody is going to buy Donnarumma this summer because his deal expires next year at PSG. Right? He's got 1 year left. £30 million asking price. I think it's a no-brainer. I see absolutely zero reason why we would not sign. Zero reason why we would not sign Donnarumma this summer. I think it would be an absolutely spectacular signing. I really do. And I think if we were able to bring him in, I would be absolutely chuffed with that. I think he's an absolutely phenomenal goalkeeper. He's levels above Onana. And at the age of 26, he's still got probably 10 years left in him. How old is Onana? Is he about the same age, or is he a bit older? All right, Onana's 29. Okay. Onana's 29. So, I mean, it's not a huge age gap. Again, do I think this deal will happen? I don't know. It's difficult. I could see Donnarumma probably going to PSG. Sorry, he's at PSG. I could see him going to Saudi probably. I just think that there's a lot of noise around Donnarumma and Manchester United, but a lot of this noise is coming from external sources. And what I mean by that is, it's not coming from the likes of Fabrizio. It's not coming from the likes of David Ornstein. It's coming from kind of third tier reporters, let's say. So it's coming from people like L'Equipe. It's coming from people like, accounts on Twitter, in the know accounts on Twitter. And there's kind of a story being built out of almost nothing, I would say. We know that there's an asking price, which is £30 million. We know that Manchester United hold an interest in the player, okay? But that's all we kind of really know for a fact at the moment. It's not like the Carlos Baleba. It's not like the Carlos Baleba deal, where we have people like Fabrizio coming out saying that Manchester United are now in talks with his agent over a contract. There's nothing like that about Donnarumma at the moment. It's very much like people you've never heard of saying that Man United want Donnarumma. Donnarumma then likes an Instagram post. To me, it feels very agent-driven. Very, let's generate some hype around a player who wants to move away from a club driven. And I think, the more that we experience these transfer windows, which I'm sure me and you have experienced many transfer windows over our lifetimes, you kind of get to gauge how, a transfer works, and you kind of get to gauge whether something is actually going to happen or not. And I think with this one for Donnarumma, I mean, maybe it does. I can't see Andre Onana going anywhere. And because of that, I just think it's going to be incredibly difficult for Manchester United to bring in another goalkeeper who would want to be number one when you still have Onana at the club. Now, obviously, I know that Onana's currently injured, right? I believe. Onana is injured. And at the moment, our number one goalkeeper is Altay Bayındır, who, let's be honest, I don't think is good enough to play for Manchester United, realistically. I mean, maybe he's good enough for a team who finished 15th, but like having Altay Bayındır as your kind of second choice goalkeeper doesn't really fill me with much confidence. Obviously, we missed out on James Trafford, which is a bit disappointing, but I don't know whether we were actually ever in for him. He's ended up at back of Man City, hasn't he? So we missed out on James Trafford. And the only other real goalkeepers that I can think of is obviously Laarmans, the Belgian goalkeeper, is Donnarumma. And there was some mention of Ter Stegen at the beginning of the window. But again, I think that was very much like, in the know accounts on Twitter, agent driven. I don't think there was ever any like tier one source that said that we were actually in for Ter Stegen. So I think we can kind of push that one to the side. But, in short, just to summarise, I think a goalkeeper is absolutely essential. Do I think we'll get one? Possibly. There has been some stories from reliable sources, including people like Fabrizio, saying that, we are looking at a goalkeeper and a midfielder before the end of the window. But again, that doesn't mean we're going to get one. It just means that we're interested in those positions. And if we don't feel like there's value in the market, I don't think Manchester United will push the trigger on bringing in a goalkeeper or bringing in a midfielder. And if they don't feel like Donnarumma's, a good package, maybe the wages are too much, maybe he wants a huge signing on fee. I don't know. I just think that as it stands at the point of recording this video, there isn't really any very credible journalists out there speaking about Donnarumma. It's all kind of, like I said, people like L'Equipe, very much client journalists, people who have probably been briefed by Donnarumma's agent saying, like, put a story out there saying that, Man United want to sign me. And, I feel like it's more like that. So as soon as we get like the Fabrizio or the Fabrizio or the David Ornstein coming out, I think that at that point, that's when we can start to get excited. But yeah, I would definitely sign Donnarumma without a shadow of a doubt. I think he's levels above Onana. I think he'd be an absolutely phenomenal signing for Manchester United. Some people in the chat were saying the other day that he's not very good, but I don't understand that. He is absolutely phenomenal, I think. And at the age of 26, for me, he's a world-class goalkeeper. I don't think Onana's world-class. I'd probably say Onana's like top 50 goalkeeper in the world, whereas Donnarumma's probably like in the top 10, top 15 out of all goalkeepers. So yeah, he'd be an amazing signing. I'd be very, very excited about him. And if we're able to bring in Donnarumma and Carlos Baleba before the end of the season, the end of the transfer window, we'd be in a much better position than we are now. Obviously, our attack is looking much better. Yesterday was looking very fluid with Ahmad, Mbeumo, Cunha, obviously all of our new players, and obviously Šeško still to come in as well. So that's really exciting, but we still do need to address our midfield issues. Maybe you can leave the goalkeeper for one more year. Maybe that's an option. But I don't think the midfield can be left as it is. The midfield at the moment just has a gaping hole in it, and we need somebody more defensive-minded. Obviously, Casemiro's past it. Toby Collier, I don't think is good enough, to be honest. Bruno Fernandes can't really play that deeper role. He's not good enough defensively. Mainu, I don't think is very good in that position either. For me, Mainu and Bruno need to be further up the pitch. So there's a massive hole in that kind of number 6 CDM role to play alongside Ugarte in a more kind of defensive setup when we're playing, the tougher teams in the Premier League, which, let's be honest, most teams in the Prem are tough now. You might at home be able to play against like Burnley with Bruno in the holding role, dictating the play. But if Brighton come to Old Trafford, I think if we've got Bruno as the number 6 alongside Ugarte, we're going to get rammed through and probably lose. So, it's easy for us to say, oh, well, we can play Bruno in some of the easier games. But as we found last season, there aren't many easy games in the Premier League anymore when you think about it. Every single team, bar the ones who get relegated, I mean, even the ones who get relegated are still going to give us a good game. I think we drew with Ipswich last season, didn't we? So every team is difficult. We can't just take for granted. And at the moment, we have a gaping hole in that midfield, which needs to be filled. So yeah, Al says we need multiple midfielders. I don't think we're going to get multiple, mate. But I don't disagree with you, bro. I don't disagree. I would love to get more than one midfielder. That'd be absolutely phenomenal. Donnarumma isn't on 100 grand a week. He's on about 200, isn't he? There's no way that Donnarumma's on less than 100 grand a week. Not a hope in hell. I can have a look for you here. Right, so if you go on Capology, which has all the players' wages, Donnarumma is on €244,000 per week, which is what, £200,000? And he's literally got less than 12 months left on his deal. His deal expires in June 2026. So he's got like 9-10 months left on his deal. there's also a bonus in his contract. So he earns a guaranteed amount of 244,000 euros a week, and he can earn up to another 105,000 euros in additional wages. So, yeah, very nice. Right, I think I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. Again, I've got a really busy day today, so I can't stay on for too long. But yeah, there you go. He's on about £211. I nearly said £211. He's on £211,000. What else have we got? Let's see if there's any other comments. Ashley says, why have we got 6 number 10s when we're only playing 1 game per week? I mean, that's a good point. I don't know. Who are the 6? Bruno, Mainu. Who else? Bruno, Mainu, Xerxes, Ahmad, and Bumo. Cunha? Am I missing anybody? I mean, it is a little bit strange. I would take Donnarumma. I would take Baleba. I would take all of them. Remember everyone who's complaining about the wages. Remember that we paid David De Gea 375 grand a week for like 5 years. So to give him 200k a week is not that ridiculous. I don't think it's not that It's not that much of a stretch of the imagination to think that a goalkeeper should be on 200k a week. We paid, oh yeah, Mason Mount as well. God, so we have 7. We have 7 central attacking midfielders then. That's mad. And we only have 1 central defensive midfielder. I mean, you could even argue that... Who else is there? I feel like we're missing someone else. I mean, at the moment, we still have Sancho. I'm not saying Sancho will stay, but at the moment, Sancho is still a Manchester United player. I mean, he would play in that position as well, wouldn't he? And Garnacho's still here. So we technically have 9 at the moment, which is mental. But anyway, I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. I've got a mad day today, so yeah, I need to shoot. But thank you so much to everyone who's joined me on the show this morning, guys. I really, really appreciate all of your support at the moment. Please do make sure to like the video before you leave. There's over 900 people watching live now. There is only 165 likes. What are we doing? Come on. Everyone like that video before you go. Everybody subscribe to the channel as well. We're on the road to 44,000. We're so close now. So please do go and subscribe. If anything breaks throughout the day, I will go live as well. So make sure that notification bell is on. Have an amazing Sunday, everybody. And I'll speak to you all on the next one. Bye for now.